Welcome to Alien Investigations, the show that investigates a UFO and alien phenomenon. I'm Ronnie, and together we'll be pulling back the curtains to find out what's behind the mass UFO cover-ups and alien hidden agendas once and for all. In today's show, we're going to talk about a few things. I'm going to show you photos of real aliens that were hand-drawn by actual adults and children that were abducted and documented what they saw in their drawings. Next, I'm going to show you another one of those morphing pyramids that we found on the moon. So, we got some very cool stuff to go over in this show. But first, I wanted to talk about a few movies that I'd like to recommend. Since the show's talking about alien phenomenon and whatnot, I recommend checking out the show Phenomenon, starring John Travolta. The story goes as this. An ordinary man sees a bright light descend from the sky and discovers he now has super intelligence and telekinesis. So this movie stars John Travolta, Kyra Sedgwick, and Forrest Whitaker. I like this guy, Forrest Whitaker. He stars in a lot of sci-fi movies. He's usually playing the role as an army colonel or something to do with the military. So he's a pretty cool guy, good actor, and I like him. I also like John Travolta. Usually very good movies he puts out. Now, I really enjoyed this movie even though it's almost 20 years old now. It came out in July of 1996. It's really a kind of sad story though, because what happens at the end to John's character, George Malley, in the film. But the movie is well worth seeing, so I recommend if you haven't seen this movie yet, go ahead and check it out, guys. On another note, since we're talking about abductions in this show, there was a really fascinating, bizarre case documented in the MUFON e-journal in March 2013 about a Virginia truck driver named Harry Joe Turner. Now, Harry claimed to have a UFO encounter of a journey through time and space. The incident was originally reported in 1979 by Richmond, Virginia Times-Dispatch. After the UFO encounter, Harry stated that the incident left him unable to work and to seek psychiatric and neurological help, and he had only partial use of the left side of his body after the incident. Pretty strange. Turner stated that he was willing to talk publicly about the incident in hopes that someone had a similar experience and could explain it all to him. So the story goes like this. Turner was driving his truck from Winchester to Fredericksburg, an 80-mile trip that he had never made before. It was raining and he said the road was strangely deserted. He saw the lights of an approaching truck in the distance, and from that moment on he said it was like I walked through a door right there into another world. Turner saw a brilliant light shining in his rearview mirror, then a beam of palpably thick white light settled over the truck. The steering wheel no longer seemed to control the vehicle. The entire truck was floating, and an unknown being opened Turner's cab door while another one was heard on his roof. He felt extreme pain in his shoulder, which he said was like a steel hard grip of one of the beings. Though whoever the creature was, it was invisible. He reached for his revolver and fired where he believed the creature was to be, getting off 8 rounds, which seemed to simply pass through the being without harming it. When he realized he couldn't kill the being, he panicked and his consciousness simply faded out. Turner then says his next memory was of waking up in the warehouse parking lot in Fredericksburg with no idea how he had even gotten there. He was on the passenger side of the truck, and his seatbelt on the driver's side was still fastened. His watch read 11:17, but a clock in the warehouse said it was 3 a.m. Most curious was that 2 mileage indicators on the truck showed that the vehicle had traveled only 17 miles since leaving Winchester. He unloaded his truck and rushed home to Winchester. As is often the case with alien abduction, details of his otherworldly voyage became to come back to Turner. He said that his captors dressed in white like doctors with white caps on their heads. When the beings lifted their caps, numbers written across their foreheads became visible. The words Alpha Centauri floated into his mind, which the reporter Bill McElway points out is a star 4.3 light years from Earth, but which Turner had never heard of before. He felt he had been taken to a city-like place 2.5 light years beyond the star, McElway writes. And there was a stop on the moon where he viewed astronauts Neil Armstrong's footprints. The city Turner described seemed to have suffered a nuclear holocaust, and it was the mission of the aliens to prevent a similar occurrence here on Earth. They want to help us, Turner explained, but they say things have gone pretty far here and that the end is coming soon. As he tried to put his life together after the first incident, Turner was visited by a band of 6 of the ultra-terrestrials. The creatures were again invisible, but he believes he was able to knock down 5 of them to the ground. The strange after effects continued. He had crying spells, and sometimes animals reacted strangely in his presence. There were also other incidents that occurred to Harry as time went on. In the meantime, Turner struggled with suicidal thoughts ringing in his ears and with the warning messages he continued to receive from the ultra-terrestrials. He also read the Bible frequently to find some kind of sense of meaning. You can actually see the whole story about this in Hangar 1, The UFO Files on the History 2 channel. Hangar 1, The UFO Files is an American television series that premiered on February 28, 2014 on H2. It was produced by Go-Go Lucky Productions, which MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, provided files from their archives of UFO sightings as the basis for episodes. If you're not familiar with MUFON, MUFON stands for Mutual UFO Network, which is a 47-year-old volunteer organization dedicated to working on the various facets of the UFO mystery. Another movie that I just watched recently was Arrival. This movie came out in early November 2016, and I just had a chance to watch it a few days ago. Now, on the IMDb, as you can see on this page, it has a rating of 8.1 out of 10 stars, so it's not bad. There's mixed reviews on this movie. However, you know how the trolls go. They'll talk about anything related to sci-fi, space, aliens, anything to do with that, they're gonna try and degrade it. So that's why I think most of these bad reviews come from, because to me, this was a great movie. The storyline is 12 mysterious spacecraft appear around the world. Linguistic professor Louise Banks is tasked with interpreting the language of the apparent alien visitors. So I really like this film and I thought it was well done. As one person wrote, Arrival is this generation's Close Encounter of the Third Kind. I thought it was a well-written story that shared emotions as well as brilliant performances by the cast. And I thought the ending was definitely an unfolding experience. So if you haven't seen this yet, guys, go and check it out. I don't want to spoil the movie for you, so I'll just leave it as that. Now back on the abductions topic here. I met a guy named Michael Menkin, who is a retired technician writer who worked for the Federal Aviation Administration. He was one of the original writers of NASA Tech Briefs and contributed to the federal government's technology utilization program for disseminating NASA technology to private industries in the 1970s. Michael Menkin has over 30 years of experience in high technology marketing and technical writing. He has worked for the Boeing Company, Mettler Toledo, Meadowave Communications Corporation, Fluke Corporations, AT&T, The Robbins Company, Innovation Incorporated, Panasonic Avionics, the University of Washington, the University of California San Francisco Medical Center at Mount Zion, the University of California Lawrence Berkeley Laboratory, Pacific Avionics, Western Applied Research and Development, and Space Labs Healthcare. So I met Mike through his website, aliensandchildren.org, and we had some email communications where I asked him if I could share some of the things from his websites on my YouTube show. He also told me some very interesting things about some of the drawings from the actual abductees, which I'm going to show you in a minute. In an interesting email message, Mike told me that an investigator in Canada had a photo of them, and they matched the drawings on his site. He also said that real aliens have 4 arms and are not humanoid at all. And they have insect-like exoskeletons. They also appear to have a sensory organ on their face, but they don't know what it's for. Mike also has another site called stopabductions.com, which I'll be linking to both sites below, as well as his YouTube video about the thought screen helmet that Mike invented that supposedly stops space aliens from abducting humans. And it's been successfully used by former abductees for 18 years now. The material that supposedly stops their malicious alien mind control from getting in your head is called Velostat, and there's another similar material found in Canada called Linkstat that can also be used. It's said that the thought screen helmet scrambles telepathic communication between aliens and humans. Aliens cannot immobilize people wearing thought screens, nor can they control their minds or communicate with them using their telepathy. When aliens can't communicate or control humans, they do not take them. The thought screen helmet has effectively stopped several types of aliens from abducting or controlling humans. Only one failure since 1998. So it sounds like this is a pretty effective device to have, guys, if you feel like you may be getting abducted or have the signs of being an abductee in the past. If you are ready to fight back, then I would recommend making you one of these helmets. And just to be clear here, Mike does not sell this helmet. He just offers you directions on how to build them. And Mike's also sent hundreds of these helmets free to people that really needed them. Mike's sites are completely non-profit and are public service websites. What I like about Mike's sites is there is tons of information to read up on. So it's highly recommended that you stop by his sites and read up on this stuff, guys. Again, you can find the sites in the description below, and you can also find the link to Mike's YouTube video where he talks about his helmet. The cool thing that Mike found about this helmet is that over its 18 years of study and use is that it also seems to be working for a lot of neurological conditions, as stated in his video on YouTube, such as grand mal seizures and epileptic, migraine headaches, brain injuries. In one case, a guy had a traumatic brain injury from an auto accident and he was blinded. And after wearing the helmet for just 1 month, he regained some peripheral vision. So as you can see, guys, this is some exciting stuff. This could be a scientific breakthrough. Who knows? So be sure to check out Michael Menkin's websites and show Michael some support for his findings. Like I said earlier, there are tons of stuff to read about on his sites, and I know you're going to find all of this stuff very interesting and informative. Moving on here, I wanted to show you guys another morphing pyramid that was found on the moon by a friend of mine on Twitter. He goes by the name of Wide Awake. He's consistently investigating stuff like us. He doesn't have a YouTube channel, but you can follow him on Twitter. His handle is @WakeUpNow2017. So let's take a look at what Wide Awake found. Again, you can find the coordinates in the video's description below, so just copy them and paste them into Google Moon so you can find the structure for yourself. So as you can see, the structure is almost in a straight line from the other structure that I found recently in my last episode. And it's about 560 miles apart. So I don't know if this has any kind of significance or if it's just coincidence. Whatever these things are, I find it strange that NASA has not showed a clear indication of what they are with high definition maps like some of the other places on the moon. So go figure that. So that's about it for this show, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, if you're new to the channel, in episode 3, I showed you the first morphing pyramid that I found on Google Moon. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and check it out. If you enjoy watching alien investigations, be sure to let your friends know that might be interested in this kind of stuff as well, so they can drop by and check out the channel. And if you're not subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button because there's more great stuff to come. Also, you can find our contact info in the description below, where you can send us an email about your own personal UFO or alien-related sightings that you might want us to report on. So again, don't forget to like and share and subscribe on your way out, and make sure to hit the bell icon so you can be notified when the next video comes out. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, keep looking to the skies and have your phones and cameras ready, because you never know when you'll see something strange or unexplainable. I'll see you right back here every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time with fresh new episodes of Alien Investigations.